Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. My name is Jappan and today we'll be making pizza dough. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified whenever I post a new video. To make pizza dough, you will need 1 cup of warm milk, 1 cup of warm water. In a separate cup, also have 3 tablespoons of warm water, 2 tablespoons of any oil you want to use, 2 teaspoons of salt, 4 tablespoons of semolina. This is totally optional, but I like the texture it provides the dough. 2 teaspoons of active yeast, 1 tablespoon of any sugar you want to use, and 1 kg of flour. I've got 3 tablespoons of warm water here. We're going to add our sugar into this. And our active yeast. And we're going to mix it. I've stirred this for around 30 seconds and now we're going to leave it to activate for about a minute. I've moved the flour into a bigger bowl so it's easier to knead. In this we're going to add our semolina, if you're using it, and our salt. And we're just going to mix it well. Mix my flour well. We're going to make a hole into this. Our yeast has been sitting for a couple of minutes. We're going to add it into our flour. As you can see, the yeast has activated and dissolved in the water. So we're just going to put it in our hole that we created. And we're also going to add our oil. Our warm water. And our milk. And we're going to mix it well. You can use a spatula for the starting stages and then move on with your hands. Mixed as much as I can with my spatula. As you can see, it's a little dry, so we're going to add a little bit of water at a time to make the dough smooth. And we're also going to knead it with our hands now. So now I've kneaded my dough smooth, we're going to grease it with some oil. Make sure to grease the bottom of the dough and the sides of the bowl too. As you can see, the dough is really soft and smooth. So now we're going to cover the dough with cling wrap and leave it in a warm place for around 1.5 hours. We're going to take the cling wrap off, and as you can see, the dough has doubled, nearly tripled in size. So now we're just going to knead it a little bit. Make sure to put some flour on your hand so it doesn't stick to your hand. So now we're going to sprinkle some flour on our workspace and we're going to take the dough out. So now we're going to knead it a little bit more and shape it into kind of like a ball. So now we're going to put some marks on the dough with a knife to mark out around where we're going to cut it. And now we're going to cut the dough. This recipe makes around enough for 6 pizzas. So I cut it into 6 pieces. So now we're going to sprinkle our work surface with some flour and some semolina if you want semolina. I just like the texture it provides the dough. So now we're going to get one of the pieces that we cut. As you can see, I shaped it into a bit of a ball. And now we're just going to flat it out and we're going to spread it. You can either use a rolling pin or just use your hands to kind of spread the dough. As you can see here. Here my mum is spreading it out with her fingers. This is a little harder, but choose what suits you. So now we've spread the dough, we're going to put it on a tray greased with butter. And we're going to use a fork to put some holes in it. Here you can go two ways. If you want to make your pizza later and you want to save your pizza dough, grease it with some melted butter and bake it. Preheat your oven to the highest temperature it can go to and bake for around 5 minutes. Or the other option is to make your pizza right now. Put your sauce on and then put the toppings of your choice. Here I'm making a vegetarian pizza. To make pizza the way I like it, put some tomato sauce on your pizza dough and then sprinkle it with some cheese. I like mozzarella cheese, but you can choose any cheese you want. And then sprinkle on some chopped up onions and then some chopped up capsicums. You can use any colour, but I like to go for all of the colours because then you have a more colourful pizza. And then sprinkle on some broccoli. Then put on chopped up pieces of pineapple. And then sprinkle on some salt, some pepper, and then top it off with some more cheese. As you can see here, I'm a cheese lover, but if you don't like cheese, just don't put it on or put less. And then top it off with some red pepper to give it a nice colour. And then we're going to bake it at the highest temperature your oven can get to. My oven can get to 250 degrees Celsius. And bake it for around 10 to 15 minutes. It's been around 15 minutes and the pizza is done. Now we're going to slice our pizza. I usually slice it into 6 pieces, but just slice it into as many number of pieces you want. Just do what suits you. So there it is, our pizza is done and ready to be served. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you, bye!